morning, folks. This is more outdoor Scotland. Coming from Hecla. We're gonna go hiking today, and we're gonna go camping overnight, and I'll take him with me.
Alright, enough chat, let's get going.
You have anything else to say?
Speechless, folks. Lunchtime, folks. Mo and I were looking at the loch here, thinking it would be an amazing place to camp. It would make for an easier day as well because we've got a big climb ahead of us. However, I'm carrying some logs. You might have noticed them on the top of my rucksack. We want to have a wee fire tonight, have a wee blether with you. And I just think the heather and the grass is too dry to have a fire here. We were looking around the loch to see if we could find a wee shingle beach someplace where we could camp above it and have the fire on the beach, but
nope.
The water levels are just a wee bit too high, so we have a spot in mind where we've camped before, but it's still quite a long way away. The interesting thing is, we've got a glorious day today, benign weather, and it's going to be fairly calm right throughout the night, although quite cold. But coming in tomorrow from the southwest, there's a big storm front. There's a big low pressure forming away to the south of us as we speak. And if we want to get out of here tomorrow without taking a beating from the weather, then we really need to get up and away early in the morning, I suppose is what I'm saying.
Not too far in.
So yeah, that's right, we can't go too far in. The forecast yesterday was saying that the weather was going to hit here around about 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, but they've brought that forward to around 1 o'clock now, so. What's this we've got, Mo?
Cheese pasty. Want some cheese?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. What have you got?
I've got Baby Bell. But obviously Baby Bell as a company has seen some senses. They've decided to get rid of the wax. Instead, they've done something really easy and quite fun. You want one?
If you want to know
buy these, Baby Bell, not those ones.
If you want to know what Mo's talking about, you have to look at some of the other videos.
No, you don't need to. You don't need to know.
Yeah, you need to know.
You don't need to know.
The Baby Bells with the wax on it. Mo has found out that the wax is not very tasty.
Come on.
What's this?
This is much better.
Like a yo-yo.
Well done, Baby Bell.
Quite nice.
And it doesn't taste like wax. Baby Bell now.
Mo, we made it.
You said it was going to be easy.
That wasn't hard.
It wasn't easy.
No, it wasn't easy. We are crossing the grain of the land coming down off the Benmore Hecla Massif, and so there's all these burns and ditches, and we're going up and down, and it's quite hard going. And they were all dry. I'm waiting on the wind dying down. So the reason that we headed for this wee shieling is the wee shielings are often built where there's a year-round supply of water. So a wee bit intel for you there, folks. If you're in the Highlands or Islands of Scotland and it's a prolonged dry spell, or there has been a dry spell, and you're worried about camping without water, head for some of these wee shielings.
We have water.
We have water, but we don't have enough water. But there's a burn in behind you there, so we're going to camp here. We've camped here before. So we're going to camp here for the night. We're going to have a relaxing night with a wee bladder. And then in the morning we're going to get up and scoot before that bad weather comes in.
I'm going straight to bed. What are you talking about? There's no blather.
I'll have a blather with you folks.
No, I won't be. I'll be sleeping, so you be quiet.
Aye, 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 aye.
Oh.
We'll chat quietly. You mean you're not going to sit and enjoy this fire after me carrying all these logs?
Nope. Yeah.
Mo was the navigator today. Did well, Mo, you got us here.
It wasn't as easy as I remembered.
Alright, so we'll have a wee rest, we might have a wee snack, and we'll get the tent up. Back to you in a wee while, folks. I do have some camping gear in this rucksack, you know, somewhere. Carrying a small forest on my back today, folks. Mo, I just have to nip back.
Forgot the tent.
We could make a shed, we've got enough wood. We have a tent. We were hiking over here, folks, and we climbed over about 8 or 9 different wee burns, and they were all dry. Except that one, which leads down. There's another shieling down there, and actually I was quite keen on camping at the other shieling. But Mo was quite keen on coming over to this one. I think she wanted me to work harder with that load of wood.
There's no guarantee a new location can have water.
No, but that burn, we're pretty sure that burn was going down past that shieling over there. It's not far away, it's about 2 kilometres.
That shieling is on a wee peninsula.
Yeah, it is on a wee peninsula. And I'm pretty sure we're going to camp there at some point in the future, but not tonight.
You?
We?
No, you.
We?
Are you French? We.
Totally lost my train of thought. Yeah, so we're hiking over all these wee burns with no water in them except for that one, and I said to Mo, let's go down and camp there, and she said no, let's go back to our usual spot. And so we had another couple of kilometres to do, and I was really concerned that we were going to get here and there would be no water. However, usually, as I say, by a shieling you're reasonably safe, so we've got running water there, we're going to be fine tonight. But that wee peninsula is nice, isn't it?
That could be a nicer spot.
You know what it would be good for? We go at the fishing. We're thinking about heading over to Harris next week. Take the van over for a few days, maybe have a go on the fishing. Haven't had a decent chance at the fishing yet. Except
Not because of lack of trying.
That Port Appin trip. You know what, folks, I can catch a fish 9 out of 10 outings. I have a blank on one. Somebody doesn't let me hear the end of it. If you're wondering about me carrying all that wood, folks, when we're camping on the coast, this coastline gets very little flotsam. I've combed this coast several times before looking for driftwood for a driftwood fire, and it's slim pickings. You sometimes get a wee bit, but we're on the east coast of South Uist and you don't get much washing up here at all. On the west coast it's a lot easier. So I thought if we want the company of a fire tonight, we're just going to have to shoulder the weight, make the effort, carry in our firewood. So a wee explanation in case you thought I'd lost my mind.
That too. What are we doing here, Dave?
This is our dry day on Uist, folks.
Listen.
It's just a shower. It'll be off by June. Just enough to get the rucksacks absolutely soaked.
And the wood.
Oh yeah. I'm not worried about that. I can get a fire going. Famous last words. Said it on camera now. I have to have a fire in my wet wood.
It's quite nice listening to the rain.
No, it's not. I've moved the tent down a wee bit, folks. We were sitting in the tent sheltering from that shower of hailstones that came across, and we were passing the time by gathering up tiny little ticks. So my guess is that the deer or the sheep have been sheltering in behind that shieling, lying in that bit of longer grass. So we're going to come down here into this wee bit of shorter grass, and then we'll give ourselves a wee check over, see if we can de-tick ourselves. We'll have to be careful tomorrow when we get out of here to check. You see what I've been doing with this, Mo? So it was low at that side, so I built it up and then it became high. So I built this side up, which has made that side.
3 hours overdue for my tea. What's another few minutes?
I'll get the kettle on. Almost tipped that over. In my excitement to tell you folks that that's a grand sound at the end of a long day's hiking. The stove roaring away. So what do you think of this less than 5% chance of rain day, Mo?
How many showers have you had already?
I had 2 big showers. I've had the camera covered over by a plastic bag for most of the afternoon, folks. Anyway, we haven't done very much. We've got a camp set up, built a wee fire pit here, salvaged 1 or 2 rotten old bits of wood from the shieling here, and I've got my logs. I'm going to get the fire going in a wee while. We'll cook up some food. We'll get a wee bit of bannock to fill our bellies. It's quite hot in there, Mo. Funnily enough. Right, Mo. Step 1, make sure it's properly mixed.
Is this a cooking video or something?
It's a cooking show.
Are you qualified to do that?
No, not at all. So this is flour with a raising agent, milk powder, brown sugar, and smoke and water out the burn. We're just going to make it all, and then if we don't use it we can leave it in the bag.
I thought you were going to cut the bag.
Well, that's a problem. I can't cut the bag ever. It's important that you don't put too much water in, especially if you don't have any more flour. You can always add more water, but you can't take it out. I think that'll do. There we are.
Looks good. Looks it's cooking.
Yeah. Once it starts moving a little bit, we can get it a bit rounder. This pan is it's already quite hot on my hands. It'll be okay. Works quite well like that. Just open it up like that and then turning it. Well folks, so much for our dry day and our beautiful camp. I've reverted to GoPro to protect my other camera. We're cooking up a bit of pasta in the rain. I've got a bit of bannock there. Looks like it's in a bath. Oh, the joys! cold. We'll want to sit closer to that once it dies down a bit. What's that giving you? Oh, is that all the pasta, yeah?
Well, there's some in the bottom of that, but it's in the bag. So.
That seems quite a full portion, to be honest, but especially since the bannock is not a... I don't know if the camera's picking that up, folks, but it's not really hail, it's frozen rain that we're getting, it's ice that's coming down. Well, I can see some lighter sky.
Are you?
Yeah, it's about 40 miles away.
And what do you see? What do you say the wind speed is?
0.
So basically, mathematically, it's going to take
Yeah, about...
infinitely long to get here.
Quite ready yet. Well, things are looking up a bit, folks. The rain's off. My bannock's cooked. Whoop. Spoke too soon there, folks. Try to eat my jacket.
Right there.
Very smoky.
Oh no. Smoky flavor.
Smoky flavoured bannock.
What a bird. Oh yeah.
Good idea.
Put it somewhere so it can dry.
I'll just hang it up here just now. I don't want it to blow away in the night. You know what I could really do?
What?
A square of chocolate.
In your food bag, in your rucksack.
I might have a...
Everything is in there.
Oh, it's cold, folks. It's that damp cold. Eats into your bones. It's a glorious evening though. I can hear somebody rustling in here, getting into their sleeping bag, warm and cosy. But I want...
Oh, survival, Dave! Survival!
She says survival, can you hear her? My survival is to grab a square of chocolate and take you guys for a walk down to the beach. Well, there's not much of a beach, to the shoreline. Let me get a square of chocolate and then we'll go for a wee hike. The waters of the Hebrides, isn't that bonny, folks? Especially in the soft light of the evening. Often the best time of the day. Well, we had a mixed bag of weather today. We had some lovely conditions when we were hiking over, but that icy rain came in at the worst possible time, just when we were cooking up. I was kind of kicking myself for not throwing the tarp in. I looked at it last night when I was packing and I thought, we won't need that. The forecast for calm and settled weather all day, but anyhow, we got a wee bit of mountain weather I think today, influenced by the hills in behind you there. Anyhow, we still enjoyed our dinner. We had some lovely pasta, a little bit of bannock and a nice cup of tea. Mo's managed to get mostly dried off before she climbed into her sleeping bag, so she's up there listening to some tunes, maybe reading. I decided to bring you down and show you the view, get a wee bit of exercise myself before I turn in for the night. Let me tell you the plans for the next few days, folks. We're going to hike out of here tomorrow. We're going to try and get out as early as we can because there's some really bad weather coming in, probably mid to late morning, so I doubt that we'll get out before it hits. But with a bit of luck we'll be a good way back before the heavy rain comes in. And then later in the afternoon it's going to be pretty windy as well, but we should be back to the van by that time. The van's parked up on my brother's land, so we're going to hunker down there tomorrow evening, and then the day after, which will be Sunday, we're going to jump in the van, head north up to Berneray, and we're going to sail across to Leverborough on Harris. And we're going to seek some shelter from the weather on Harris. We'll get tucked in someplace in the van and we'll camp there for 2 or 3 days. If the conditions are good enough, I might get out with a fishing rod and try a cast or two. And then after a few days on Harris, we're going to sail back to the Uist, have a few more days here before eventually we'll sail back across the Minch to the Inner Hebrides and Skye. And then we'll wind our way down the road because I have to get home for my second injection. So that's the plan for the next few days. I'm going to hike back up to the tent now, folks. It's getting a bit late, and I'll bid you good night. We'll check in with you in the morning. I'm hoping we'll get an hour or two at least before the rains come. So thanks for tuning in so far, and we'll see what tomorrow brings, folks. Good night for now. Morning, folks. It's a bit of a wild morning. We're trying to get up and packed up pretty quickly to get out of here. We've got a long way to go. Getting some coffee on the go, folks, before we pack up completely and get out of here. Hope you can hear me. It's a wee bit wild. That's why the stove is tucked down in behind the rucksacks there. Try and get a wee bit of shelter. So a quick cup of coffee. We've got some porridge bars, a wee bit of fruit, and then we'll get these rucksacks shouldered and we'll get up the hill. We've got a fair bit of climbing to do, and then we've got to wind our way through that watery landscape. Mo's hanging onto the camera there. Are you going to come round, Mo? So we're going to wind the video up here, folks. Thank you as always for your company. It's been very much appreciated. We didn't get as much filming done yesterday evening as we planned. We climbed into our sleeping bags and we just lay and listened to music for a while. The weather wasn't playing ball yesterday as it should have been. So stay safe, stay tuned, and we'll get back to you again soon. Bye, folks.